Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Walt here from Down the Block Sports, and today I want to talk about the NBA. The Utah Jazz and Detroit Pistons just made a trade, and my God, this was a terrible trade for the Utah Jazz. What I want to talk about today was who was involved in the trade and how this helps or hurts both teams moving forward. Again, I'm Alex Walt. This is Down the Block Sports. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more of my exclusive content. Yes, we have a trade in the NBA between the Detroit Pistons and the Utah Jazz. According to St. Bonaventure graduate Adrian Wojnarowski, the Jazz are sending Bogan Bogdanovic to the Pistons for Kelly Olynyk and Saben Lee. So the Utah Jazz have been tearing their team down this offseason. First, it was Rudy Gobert, then Donovan Mitchell, and now we can add Bogdanovic to the mix. This is a horrendous trade for the Utah Jazz. I mean, what are we doing? The Detroit Pistons just absolutely fleeced them. Let alone, this is exactly what the Pistons need. Now, let me break this down for you. The Detroit Pistons were the second to worst three-point shooting team in basketball last year. They finished shooting 32.6% from three last year. That was the only team worse than that was the Oklahoma City Thunder, who really are probably going to finish there at the end of next season. I mean, the Pistons have done a really good job improving their team this offseason. Do I think they're a playoff team? No, but they're starting to, put things together in regards to their rebuild. Obviously, you look at their starting lineup and includes guys like Cade Cunningham, who's going to lead this team, Jaden Ivey, who was their draft pick this past season, Sadiq Bey, who was a mid to first round pick, who has definitely panned out for the Detroit Pistons, Marvin Bagley, who was dying to get out of Sacramento, finds his way to Detroit, gets that 4-year deal. Isaiah Stewart, who's a solid rebounder. Jalen Duren, who could be a decent backup center. But when you look at this deal, one, with Stewart, Noel, Duren, they didn't need Kelly Olynyk. Saben Lee is, just at best a rotational piece. If there's injury, I really don't think Saben Lee is really going to make too big of an impact on this team. They added a guy in Bogdanovic who can start or come off the bench. I'm still curious to see what happens over this next month and what Casey wants to do with his starting lineup, but he averaged over 18 points per game last season. He's been averaging, near that number the last couple seasons with the Jazz. I mean, let's start back even when he was on the Pacers down in 2017. Or let's actually go to 2018, 18 points, 20.2 points, 17 points, 18.1 points per game. Now, this wasn't just, stat padding on a terrible team. We're talking about a guy who was on a team that was constantly going to the playoffs. Did they win an NBA championship? No, they really couldn't get over that hill and advance to the NBA Finals, but we're talking about a near 20-point per game scorer on a team that had one of them already in Donovan Mitchell, and, Rudy Gobert still found a way to get, 10, 12, 14, sometimes 15-plus points per game on that team. These weren't cheap baskets. Now, for the three-point shooting percentage standpoint, which is what Detroit needs to improve upon, 2018, 42.5%, 41.4%, 1920, 2021, 39%, last season, 38.7%. He immediately fills a huge need on this team. He's also 6'7", so he has the versatility to play multiple positions. He's not the most gritty defensively. I think Detroit's done a really good job adding those types of players to fit that role when they need him. But when you looked at Detroit before this trade, what was one thing you were looking at as a need for this team? They needed some experience. They needed to improve upon the bench. I don't know if he's coming off the bench or starting to start next year. We'll have to wait and see what happens over this next month. But whether he's starting or coming off the bench, it improves that rotation for the team next year. And they needed to improve their three-point shooting, and Bogdanovic is going to make an immediate impact for this team. They need they need a basket late in the game. He's going to join the mix as someone who can contribute in that department for the Pistons. The Utah Jazz just got absolutely fleeced. Trading Olynyk and Lee for Bogdanovic, I don't even know what would convince the Jazz to say yes to this outside of dumping a contract, but it's not like he's under contract for a long time. It was a straight money swap. They got zero future assets in this trade. What's the plan now in Utah? You guessed it. They're rebuilding. You know, you can say whatever you want about the other two trades they've made. They traded a star player, did get a star return. But for a near 20-point per game scorer off the bench, a quality three-point shooter, someone who can impact the game in multiple facets, you gave up Kelly Olynyk and Saben Lee. What an awful trade by Danny Ainge. And what a phenomenal move and a phenomenal addition for a team that I'm not going to say they're a playoff team yet, because I think they're young. They're extremely young. But the Detroit Pistons are heading in the right direction. They have their star. They've hit on a couple draft picks. Now they have a veteran who can shoot. They're still the fourth team in that division, but I like to see a direction that clearly the Jazz are going in the opposite. But I give a lot of credit to Detroit for making this move. I feel like it's a no-brainer because, you know, you're not really giving up very much and you're getting someone who can make an immediate impact on your team, but you have your shooter, and we'll see if this helps the Pistons make a quiet run here in the Eastern Conference. Are they good at be? I still, again, hesitant to put them really in a class above really what they are, but this is a phenomenal move for a team that needed a three-point shooter. What do you think of this deal between the Pistons and the Jazz? Feel free to give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more of my exclusive content. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you very soon.